Lots of talk, as always, about deciding which types of firearms they want to take away from us. The belief being that it's the firearm and not the evil person that is doing the damage. A little bit of examination on that myth today on the Dr. Drake channel. It's Dr. Drake 63 here today, and got just a little bit of a story time type of video. We're not going to review a firearm today, but I want to point out differences between firearms of days gone by and modern firearms, and particularly I just want to talk very qualitatively about some of the differences and what I consider to be complete absurdity in terms of the types of things that the do-gooders wish to take away from American citizens because they believe it's going to stop the evil that lurks in some men's hearts, and it won't. But we're going to talk about that a little bit today. I hope you enjoy, and as always, welcome your comments. What you see before you are some real fine examples of older school technology, wood and blued steel. This right here is a 357 Magnum. This is a Colt Trooper Mark III. This is from 1976. Okay. Beautiful gun. I've talked about this before. It's in pretty fine shape. The lockup and everything is wonderful. It's a 6-shooter, so think cowboy, think things that go back to days of yore. Okay, and what you see here is a lever action rifle. This one is from the early 1950s. It's a Marlin, and it's chambered in 30-30. Okay. This particular firearm is a lever action. It has a magazine. You can put 7 rounds in it. And as fast as you can work that lever, you can shoot a pretty powerful bullet. No one is suggesting that we as Americans should not be able to own firearms such as these. Nobody is. What you see here is a Glock. This one's a Glock 19. It is chambered in 9mm, which is a round which is significantly less lethal and powerful than 357 Magnum. But this is not a pretty gun, not compared to this guy right here. Wood, steel, shiny, all that kind of good stuff. And then you look at this and it's just black. Holds a few more than 6 rounds. It's a semi-automatic, so as fast as you can pull the trigger, you can shoot it, which is also true of this one. It's a double action, so as fast as I can pull this trigger, I can shoot it. Okay, this one does have more capacity, the less powerful round. And then you come up and you look at this guy, and this is probably the ultimate symbol of evil associated with gun ownership. It's the dreaded AR-15. A lot of people believe this is a fully automatic firearm. It is not. It does have more capacity than this lever action, but it shoots a round which is a very high-powered, high-velocity 22 round as opposed to a 30 caliber round like this guy right here. It looks scary. Obviously, you You can do a lot more firing, a lot more shooting without reloading, and the range is better than that guy right there. And this is why platforms similar to this in a fully automatic or select fire mode are what is adopted by the U.S. Army. What do I mean by fully automatic or select fire? This guy right here is just a semi-auto. As fast as I can pull the trigger is as fast as I can shoot it. Yes, I can shoot this faster than this. But both of them are darn lethal. Both of them are darn lethal. And the point of it is people will say, well, this you can use to hunt a deer. Nobody needs an AR to hunt. And I would suggest anybody who's ever needed to eradicate varmints, coyotes, things like that, has never hunted with an AR. Anyone who ever has gone hunting for antelope has never hunted with an AR. That's just not true. AR's got a lot of uses like that. And this firearm comes out in different calibers. But here you go. The bad, the stigmatized. Grandpa's guns, as you would say. It's just amazing to me. Let's talk about this a little bit. If I needed to do the most damage with a bullet possible from a handgun, and my choice was a .357 Magnum or a 9mm Parabellum, no contest. Gonna use this guy right here. The ballistics, the force it hits with, everything is just so much greater than this. I'm gonna spare you the technical details. Those of you watching this know where to find those. We're talking qualitative today, not quantitative. I'm not gonna throw a bunch of charts up at you. If I wanted to take a deer or a large size creature of any kind, I'd probably prefer that, especially inside 150. Absolutely. But this is the gun everybody wants to take away. So go figure. But it's amazing to me that just based on the fact that one of them looks good hanging over your mantle and the other one maybe not so much, that you have this huge stigma associated with these firearms. It blows my mind. And most of it's just ignorance. Most of the gun grabbing ideas come from people who don't understand ballistics, who don't understand firearms, and so they work out of ignorance oftentimes, and they work out of fear. I understand that. Every single one of these firearms you see before you should be respected without a doubt, because they are capable of doing damage. Any firearm is. This very old school 22 bolt action rifle right here, which has a 7-shot capacity, can do a lot of damage. In fact, the 22s ends up being one of the most lethal rounds that's out there, probably due to its commonality as opposed to anything else. But nobody has a problem with a firearm like this. And here's the thing, and this is what everybody needs to remember when talking about firearms and banning firearms of certain types or capacity and things like that. None of these hurt anybody. It's the person behind them. It's the person behind them. And that same person could just as easily hurt somebody with a kitchen knife. And as they found out in England. Now they have a problem because firearms are not as available. People are hurting each other with kitchen knives. People hurt each other with vehicles, with bricks, with everything. You know how many people get killed by rifles in the United States every year? Less than are killed by a hammer. Think about that. Nobody wants to ban a hammer. There's a lot of demonization that goes on, like I said, a lot of ignorance. And I fear that education isn't going to fix that. I really do. I really don't think that education is going to fix the ignorance. I think people are married to these ideas. They have absolutely no interest in hearing about facts. They're making their decisions based off emotions. And there we go. And it's a shame, because we're a country that has celebrated the Second Amendment and firearms private ownership for a long time. It's a big cornerstone of our freedoms. If you don't believe me, go look at what's going on at Venezuela right now. Just go take a look at that. Look at other big countries where governments have decided that their citizens should not be armed. Look what happens there. It's amazing. Don't throw Denmark at me. I think there's more people living in my backyard than live in Denmark, for God's sakes. Food for thought. This is Dr. Drake 63 saying thanks for watching. Support the Second Amendment, guys. Support the Second Amendment any way you can.